You might start to wonder, why don't I date or have a relationship like everyone else? Is it my turn now? Will I ever find true love? Society tells us every day of the month when we should start dating, have our first sexual experience, get married, and have kids. Also, society will tell you that something is wrong with you if you are still single and haven't reached these milestones. But there's a reason you haven't found deep love in healthy relationships. Should I try to get together with someone? Does this mean that you should be ready for a relationship if they think you should be in one? Are you ready to love and be loved back? Do you know what makes a relationship strong and successful? Even better, do you know what you're looking for in a partner that could lead to a long-term relationship? Most likely, you answered yes to every question. You might not be as ready as you think, since you're probably also thinking about your current or past relationships. If you're asking, am I ready for a relationship? Here are 6 clear signs that you're not ready. You can't describe a healthy relationship. There's more to figure out what makes a healthy relationship than just copying someone else's. You also have to be willing to put in the time and effort to learn more about yourself and the problems you bring to the relationship. If you don't say what makes a relationship healthy, you set the stage for one where anything goes. People who can't describe what makes a good relationship often say things like, "Let's just go with the flow, let's not put labels on us, and I don't want anything too serious." Let's make sure you take the time to think about who you are, why you think the way you do about relationships, how you could improve as a partner, and how you could choose a partner. You don't have any goals or a clear vision. Many partnerships don't have clear goals or directions. Not surprisingly, these partnerships are made up of people who don't know what they want or where they want to go. Knowing why you are on Earth and what you feel called or inspired to do gives you a sense of purpose. Your vision is what you've said about your goals for the future. Many people believe that getting into a relationship and figuring out who you are and what you want to do should come first, not the other way around. Sadly, this often leads to people dating and investing in relationships that make them unhappy and living unhappy lives. By first figuring out your mission and vision, you can create a life that makes you happy and reduce the number of connections and people in it that don't. Spend some time thinking about what your values are. Write down your statements of purpose and vision. Then you should live a good life. Your limits in relationships are not healthy. There are 3 main kinds of boundaries: rigid, permeable, and healthy. If you have strict boundaries, you're more likely to avoid intimacy and deep relationships. Your emotional investment in the relationship may be seen as cold. You keep a distance from other people. If you have these problems, no one will want to stay with you. If you have weak boundaries, it may be hard to say no to your partner's requests, even if you don't want to. You also take on too many of your partner's problems, depending on their approval, and put up with disrespect and abuse. If your neediness makes your partner feel too emotionally drained, they may decide to break up with you or stay with you to get as much as they can out of you. You're only ready for a relationship when you have healthy boundaries, which means you won't give up your values for others. You're okay with hearing no, and you can say what you need and want. A relationship is your medication for being alone. In our culture, being single has become a sign of being lonely. And a lot of people are afraid of being single. Like it's a life sentence in prison. But being alone doesn't mean you're lonely. In counseling, many married people talk about feeling lonely, ignored, being ignored, feeling like a single parent, and feeling like we're roommates. How you feel about yourself has a lot to do with how lonely you are. Do you have self-love? Do you take care of yourself? Do you talk to God? When it comes to dating, being lonely will cloud your judgment like a dangerous drug. Because you don't want to be alone, you give up on your morals and ideals and don't pay attention to warning signs in relationships. Deal with your loneliness first before you get too close to someone. It's all right to be someone's second choice. Being a number on a list of partners is a sign of desperation, and unless you're in an open or polyamorous relationship, it usually means you've hurt someone. In reality, you are still mostly single and only have a few friends. In this case, you agree that any disrespect is better than none, and you also agree that any attention is better than none. In this situation, there is no way to win. You should now think about whether or not this person can only be with you, even if you win, and become the only one they want to be with. You deserve to be someone's only partner. You deserve to be loved, respected, valued and supported in a way that never changes. You can't be taught anything. Love is a joint effort between two people in a relationship. The golden rule says that we should treat other people the way we want to be treated. In theory, that is a good plan to follow. Unfortunately, not everyone needs the same things to feel loved. The golden rule says that if your partner's top love language is acts of service, you should give them acts of service because that's what you'd want from them. But if their favorite way to feel loved is through words of affirmation, they are not getting their needs met in the way they would like. Because of this, the relationship could get worse. If you want to have a good relationship, you have to be coachable, because loving your partner the way you want to would hurt it. Relationships are complicated and need a lot more than, they say, and, let's just see what happens. Because of your baggage, you may see yourself and other people in a more complicated way. A lack of connection with yourself will always lead to a lack of connection with others, so problems with any or all of the above are more likely to be signs of this. Even though this isn't a full list, these 6 tips are a great place to start if you want to be ready for a healthy, long-term relationship. Talk to a relationship expert to get help with any of these problems and make your next relationship the best one you've ever had. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.